Good, good. I'm not very good with this talking thing, but I just thought we'd stick or dive right into it. So we've been using Hangouts now and Skype and all those kinds of things. So the questions were, how are teachers using Hangouts to enhance the students' learning and richer opportunities for students? What did you find for that one?
Well, Hangouts and Skype are a way to connect students learning, and some of the things that I was researching is that since they're able to connect students with other students, they can use this as a way to have help. For example, peer tutoring after school. We can set up something like that to have somebody not physically be in the classroom, but have help them from the other side of the camera. Another thing that could happen is that, in other words, we can connect students with mentors. It could be students, it could be adults, it could be somebody else that can help them. Teachers, we can use this medium like we're doing right now, to record short videos and show them to the students later on. Either it could be instructions. I mean, how many times you're tired to giving the same instructions, right? So we can just record them and then just have students play it all over again. And another powerful thing that students can do with this is they can have online discussions. I mean, they don't have to be in the classroom. We could use the classroom time for something else, and they can have these discussions at home.
Like with a partner or something?
With partners, huh? And another thing, important thing that I found is that sometimes, you know, how students, they have some interest, but there's not a lot of students in their school that share the same interests.
Mm-hmm.
So they could find somebody else through Google Hangouts, like forming different clubs or connecting. I mean, we could be an advisor and not necessarily have the students in our classroom, but it could be from different schools and host them in our classroom.
That's cool. I didn't think of that one.
So how about you? What have you?
For me, some teachers have been using it for collaboration with other classes, and the cool thing is that it can be anywhere in the world. Of course, you have to keep in mind that there's different time zones and all of that.
Right.
Another thing that a lot of teachers have been doing is bringing experts and authors into the classroom to share experiences. And for both of those, it's not that different than Skype. It's the same idea. You can record, you can have the expert or the author, you know, here as part of the video conference. So I think really both tools are good for that kind of a thing. But one thing I was thinking also is I liked one of the things I read about virtual office hours, where I could be at home, and if somebody was stuck on a problem or something, they could just ring me up, and I could just go over the problem with them, or I could share my screen with them and show them how I did the problem. I don't know, I think that kind of a thing would be good, as well as I'm kind of interested in trying the flipped classroom, not every day, but like maybe one day a week, so that one of the advantages to that is that my classes are big. My classes are like anywhere from 30 to 40 students, and the kids get so easily distracted. And there's some kids, you know, that just constantly say, I just can't concentrate. So at night, if they're watching the video, they can get themselves away from all the distractions. They could watch my examples, and they could practice it, and then the next day they could come with any questions that they had and that kind of thing. So I don't know, I'd like to give it a try.
That's a good idea. I mean, even in the classroom, I was thinking like some students can put on their headsets and then they can listen to you.
Right. If I was doing... They put on their headsets to block me out.
But now this time they can actually...
It's like I told them today. I had them using their phones today, looking up the formulas for surface area. And one kid's like, "You're letting us use our phones?" And I was like, "Yeah, but use them for good, not for evil."
There's actually, have you checked, I think on Google, because I tutor a student in geometry, and there's formulas you can just plug in the numbers and they give you everything like for volume, surface area.
It's,
Those are really cool.
is that called mathway.com?
I think so, yeah.
My kids were telling me about that today. And I was like,
Yeah.
great. But I don't know. I told them they can use that kind of stuff for practicing, but not during the test.
That's right.
All right.
So let me
Sorry.
ask you the second question. How can you combine the power behind video-driven instruction like Google Hangouts or Skype or even the Khan Academy to broaden a student's learning experience in your class?
Again, it comes back kind of to the flipped classes as an idea where the students can see the examples and then the class time is spent for just helping them with it, with any questions they had, or else having them collaborate with less distractions when they're watching the video. But another thing that I was thinking about as far as the recordings, I have a lot of absences at my school. And I have people that go away for 3 weeks and they come back and they expect their grade to be the same as it was when they left. So I'm thinking, like, for people that are absent, you know, Khan Academy or the Math Dude, or even my book has a tutor guide that shows for each lesson. And so I think that's a big thing for me is the absences. They would be able to they'd be able to see what they missed, because especially in math, you know, when they miss math, it's not the same as when they miss English. They can't just read the book and figure it out.
Right. Everything's connected.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I was thinking the same thing. I mean, those tools with those tools we can create libraries that students can access at any time, and not only ours, like other teachers. And one of the things that I liked about the creator of Can that he said is that his nieces prefer him listen to him on a video than rather to him live, and it's because they could pause, they could record, they can rewind, and they could forward it, they can watch it anytime they want.
Right.
So that's one of the powerful things that these tools create for our students.
Yeah, and they could and they can do it with in a whatever room they choose to sit in, you know, where they could have less distractions, and they can. I was thinking about the same thing, right? Rewinding, pausing.
Mm-hmm.
We get used to that in life.
And also if we're thinking about especially in students, I mean that's what they need. Sometimes they can't even like follow us. They have a hard time following us our pace in the classroom, so they can choose their own pace.
Yeah, that's definitely good. I get too used to my DVR, where I can pause it, or if I miss something, I can rewind it. I'm sitting there in my car sometimes, I'm like, I missed it, rewind. I was like, no, this is my car, this isn't my DVR.
That's right.
Our society.
I wonder what will be the commercials in our classroom, though. Like,
can you rewind? No, I can't. All right, the third question was, after using Skype and Google Hangouts, what tool do you prefer for personal use, professional use, and what considerations need to be kept in mind when using either of the tools for students or with students?
Well, for this, I used Skype when I used to play an online video game, and I liked it. And but I guess for my students, I will see them using Google Hangouts instead. I think it's easier for them to use it because they're in my school. Their students are being introduced to Google Docs, so I feel that everything's connected, so it's easier for them to use all this medium instead of using another website. Right. So I think for my students, it will be convenient for them to use this Google Hangouts. Some of the things to keep in mind, I will think that it will be to get permission from parents if they're allowed to use this medium. I mean, I don't know if we're supposed to get permission for for them to record. I don't think we will have to, right? And also for the district first, if they allow us to do this in a classroom. It's always best to be safe in
Hmm.
these situations. And another thing is to be able to create productive lessons, because if we just let them use it as they want to, or just if we're not clear on the outcomes, then I think in my case I have middle school students that would just waste their time. I mean, they will find a lot of things, fun things to do. I mean, talk, chat, and share files. But if we don't have very clear instructions, if we don't have we have to create valuable lessons for them.
Yeah.
That's something I have to keep in mind.
For me, for personal use, I still like FaceTime. Um, I don't know. I just like it. It's easy. I could see
FaceTime is for
FaceTime
it's
is
Mac, right?
for, say it again?
It's a Mac.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, I see.
it's on the Macs, but it's also on the iPhone.
Oh, is that the one that if you have any Mac device, you can have access to that?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
I see.
don't have an account or anything. It just goes by your phone number that you have on it.
Oh,
So, like, I was in the car and I FaceTimed my sister-in-law, and I felt like she was just right there in the car with me. It was cool.
oh,
Um, but for personal use, if I have to choose between Hangouts and Skype, the only advantage I can see to Skype is that it's more private, because all these Hangouts, every time you get on one, it says it could be publicly viewed, and I don't know. If I'm having a personal conversation, I'd rather have it be more private.
that's true.
For professional use, um, I would probably choose the Hangouts for kind of the same reason. I already have a Gmail account. My colleagues already have a Gmail account, and the students, some do, some don't. But it's fairly easy to get, and it would have a lot more uses than a Skype account would have. You can just do much more with a Gmail general account, Whereas Hangout, or Skype,
Right.
you have to have all this separate accounts and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
With students, the three things I thought that you have to be careful of is, number one, privacy concerns, privacy of the students, so that it's not, I don't know, if you make a YouTube or something, to make sure it's private, just that they're not out there on the web, And also professionalism, whereas a lot of students sometimes, they want to joke around, or they want to, be funny or whatever, and they can say things that you could get in trouble for if they're like. I mean, I work with high schoolers, and they certainly don't have very many filters. So they just say whatever comes to mind, and a lot of it is probably not
Appropriate.
appropriate. So having that online at school, I can just say whatever, but I don't know, online it could be scary. And the last thing I thought of was modeling etiquette for them, how to act online, and how not to act, and also when you're having a conversation that's a work related, a school related conversation, it's different than when you're talking to your friends, that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, those are good points. We should ask Carla for her etiquette lesson. She said she was going to present it to her colleagues.
She said she made that for her Camtasia thing.
I think so, yeah. No, for her colleagues, she was going to do a presentation of etiquette.
Oh, just
For her
for
school.
not even for the assignment, just for.
For the school, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, she could share it.
She could share, yeah.
Hey, Carla, if you're watching.
And then if she's watching, she can click on like. Is it what is it? Yeah, YouTube.
It's like Cesar said, we need 1 million likes. So stay up all night clicking like.
Okay,
right.
so I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the stop broadcast here.
Okay, thank you, Julia.
Thank you.